Damn nerds. Nerds! Sports, the infinite frontier. These are the rants, opinions, and discussions of the one and the only Sports Nerds. Their mission, to talk about the major headlines in sports news, drink beer, curse loudly, and heavily criticize their favorite teams. To boldly rant where no man has ranted before. And now, here are your nerds. Philip Ford.
The price is wrong, bitch.
Max Andrews.
Nigga, my name is Reverend Father Uncle Ruckus. No relation.
And Cough.
Well, hello there, Mr. UPS man. It doesn't matter who we are. What matters is our plan. You have respected my authority.
And welcome to Sports Nerds, episode number 21. The gang is all back together.
Hello.
We got Max on via satellite, and then we got Mike sitting at home, just kind of enjoying, waiting for Max to show up.
That's right.
I'm not via satellite. I'm in the Sports Nerds mobile unit right now, dude.
Oh, okay.
Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna unlock the front door so when he comes in.
All right. All good. Yeah, so I think actually it looks like Max is actually finally on location.
Yes, I am, but I'm still mobile. I still got the Sports Nerds mobile unit going.
Yeah, Max is our mobile correspondent
All right,
for
here we
all
go.
things on 3 Geeks Network. For those of you who don't know.
I'm getting off of here.
All right. Max was letting us notify that he's getting offline. He's hopping into Mike's house. So we'll be starting shortly. But we're going to kind of cover some NFL topics, a little bit of the NBA, touch the MLB since it's 8 games left and the playoffs are coming, and then a little bit on the NCAA. As you can probably see, there you go. Mike just kind of showed up.
Upstairs in the fridge. Yo, hold up. No, I'm good. Hold on 1 second.
All right. And they're still having a discussion, kind of getting settled in. But yeah, and then we're going to talk about NCAA surprises. At least from my perspectives, I would say that's Bama and USC. You could, I guess, say Auburn, but them losing to LSU I don't think is as big of an issue. So we'll have to kind of see where we start and kind of go from there. And if you can't see, basically right now what you've got going on is Max and Mike trying to just get settled down, and they're kind of making jokes.
You're gonna leave you hanging, man.
It's all good. I was filling air.
All right.
I kind of gave them a rundown of what we're going to cover at a high level.
Okay.
All right, that's Philip taking care of business.
Yeah, that's why you're on the team, Phil. You're the responsible one.
I was intensely parched for reason, and I needed this ice cold Bud Light, refreshing beers.
We're not sponsored yet, so you don't have to sell it that much.
I'm just practicing.
Nice.
You're doing a good job.
They can see my test footage, I'm just making it easy for them.
I like it. So where do you all want to start this week? We got NFL, NBA, MLB, and NCAA.
I think before anything else, we need to talk about the SNFLJL or whatever our freaking acronyms will be. Yeah, Mike, I beat you week 1. I just want to say
this is going to be the new trophy
one.
top, by the way. Yeah, he beat me. I'm Mr. Fantasy Expert, and I got my ass whooped.
But we got the trophy. This is what the trophy is going to be. We're going to get this mounted.
Try to.
Or yeah, hopefully we can. It can't be that hard, right? I mean, and I want to get it like
things underneath it.
Yeah, I want to get it like in a pose, What I'm saying?
Like
dynamic. Yeah. Maybe get like a Han Solo and a Chewie and like a R2D2 and a
anything else?
Skywalker. We could paint it gold. We could plate it in gold.
Played it in
Where'd you get all
gold.
this money?
Holy crap. Yeah, really.
I just won't eat for the next like 5 months.
My wife's looking at us in the background here, just shaking
It'll
her
be
head.
glorious. I mean, you gotta expect this.
It's gonna be sweet. It's gonna be sweet. Just give us a chance. It's gonna be sweet.
No, mount that up. It's gonna be cool. You're gonna get your name on the trophy. It's gonna stay there forever, etched in time. Or at least I'm gonna get my name on the trophy this year.
We'll see about that.
Oh, I wouldn't talk too much shit, man. I was looking really good last year. I was like undefeated in one of my leagues, and I made it to the playoffs, and all my guys got injured.
Mm-hmm.
And I lost first week, and I was like, "What the?"
No, see, that's when you just throw some under the table trades in. You're just like, all right, man, you know you're going down. Like the playoffs are coming. You're nowhere close to winning. Let me get all your good guys. I'll put a like, asterisks your name on the bottom of my plaque.
Yeah.
How about that?
And then everyone else in the league's like, why the hell did he drop Calvin Johnson? Why did he drop Le'Veon Bell? Why did he drop Adrian Peterson? Yeah.
Really? Yeah. So I can't.
Oh, no, that won't fly with our commish.
No, not up in here.
Yeah, I'm doing awful. I'm 0-2, so.
I mean, yeah, you're probably going to turn around and win the league.
Well, let's go around and talk about our teams real quick. Philip, what's the name of your team? Who's your lineup? What you got going on?
So right now, the name of my team is Levante's Inferno. I got to represent the Buccaneers.
We're playing.
What?
We're playing each other this week.
Oh, that's you, huh? I gotta hope I win this one. You're the
You're
Tigers?
projected to. Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
Oh, you are the Tigers. I always just recognize your 4-letter acronym of fuck. I don't know your team name.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I picked last, so I was 10th. So I kind of struggled, but I tried to fill out with what I thought would be best. And DeMarco Murray is unfortunately not having a game. I didn't figure he would do great, but I figured he would do okay in that pass-heavy offense, and that just hasn't happened. And then I have Andrew Luck, got Emmanuel Sanders, who's actually been doing okay. I've got a couple guys that I'm hoping for. So this is where you could be right, Max, because I'm kind of hoping that Todd Gurley and Julius Thomas can actually make it back from injury and actually do what I hope that they can do, which is about 15 points a game. That's kind of what I'm hoping. Otherwise, I'm up a creek because Mike Evans is not doing anything right now. And, I could get lucky with LeGarrette Blount, but we'll see.
Nice. Well, since you picked last, I was actually first pick, and I took Le'Veon Bell. Even though he was suspended for 2 games, I am still 100% positive that this guy is going to beat ass this year. I don't know if I'm sure everyone who watches this has been watching the Pittsburgh Steelers. Their offense is on fire. I also picked Le'Veon Bell up in another league as well, and I got Roethlisberger in that league too. And Roethlisberger's just tearing up. I believe he's either the number 2 or number 3 fantasy quarterback right now. But so I'm looking forward to Le'Veon Bell starting back this week.
Steelers have so many weapons.
Yeah, the Steelers has got so many offensive weapons too, and they're going to get Martavis Bryant back here in a couple of games, so look out for them. But
real ugly.
But yeah, I got Le'Veon Bell. My second pick was Julio Jones, which again, Julio Jones has been tearing it up. He's been a monster. Even with a kind of bad hamstring, he's still getting 12 catches, 100-something yards a game, touchdowns. Got Jordan Matthews, who's been doing all right for the Eagles. He's probably going to struggle this week against the Jets and Darrelle Revis, but we'll see. I got the Panthers D. Panthers D is looking good, especially this week against no Drew Brees. We'll get to that later. Mm-hmm. And my quarterback is Eli Manning. Now, if anyone watched the fantasy edition of this podcast, I was talking about quarterbacks and how you could wait on quarterbacks. I figured, Eli Manning's going to throw the ball a lot. He has. It just hasn't really produced much yet, but he did all right. I think he's starting to get his swing back now after they beat up on the Redskins the other night. So I waited and took Eli Manning. So he put up 19 points for me, 280 yards, 2 touchdowns, so not bad. This just goes for anything. If you can get, 20 points, around 20 points from your quarterback consistently, that's pretty good. It's a nice pickup. So, but yeah, that's my team. Oh, my team's name is A Song of Pryor and Rice.
I just hate Pryor in there.
Well, that's how you did. I mean,
I get it. I just hate him.
whatever. Talk about your damn team.
All right. My team is the Lightsaber Tooth Tigers. And I picked up Matty Ice, Matt Ryan for my quarterback. I didn't pick him first. I didn't. That's the first position they have there. I don't know why, but I always pick Matt Ryan as my quarterback in fantasy.
It's a solid pick.
I just always do. Anyway, Matt Forte.
He's been doing all right.
Yep. Chi-Town. I got Forsett, who I'm kind of like.
He needs to do something because I am in another league. He needs to do something here the next couple of weeks, or I might consider trading him.
Yep. I got D Hop, who blew up in week 2.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah. That dude went insane week 2. I was like, thank you, glorious DeAndre Hopkins. I got the ODB, Odell Beckham Jr., who killed it on Thursday. It was great. Martavius Bennett. Is that his name?
Martellus Bennett.
Martellus Bennett.
Yeah.
Martellus is my
Martellus Wallace.
Martellus Wallace looked like. Anyway, B. Jackson got Vincent Jackson from Tampa Bay, who's nah.
Hey, he's doing better than Mike Evans.
Yeah,
he's the number 1.
Mike Evans. Anyway, Ravens D and Gostkowski for my kicker. And yeah, that's my. Did I make any weird picks? Yeah, I picked up Funchess on a stupidness, and he doesn't do nothing.
Yeah.
Colson. Yeah, all the rest of my team is like my.
You got Steve Smith.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, he doesn't do nothing either.
He's solid.
Steve Smith Senior?
Yeah.
Yes.
You should. Have you not been playing him? He's blown up the last week. I think 2 weeks even.
I missed that.
Yeah, man. You gotta stay up on this shit. You gotta.
No,
check
I
the
totally
stats.
missed that. I've just been winning games, so I haven't even been worried about it.
Come on, man. You got to win by more.
This
Come
guy.
on.
Let's see here. Anyway, all right. Well, let's get on to some stuff. So I'm not just playing with my fucking fantasy league.
All right.
Like, yeah, everybody, watch me change up my roster. How interesting is that?
Well, since we're talking about pro football, we want to go into. We'll start talking NFL.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. What has been everybody's big surprises this year as far as the NFL goes? I mean, everyone makes a lot of predictions before the season starts. Who's going to be good? Who's going to suck? Teams and players. Phil, who do you think? What are your big surprises so far this year?
Basically, my biggest surprise from the loss factor is going to be Seattle being 0-2. Now, I guess they were close in a couple of the games, but it's still surprising considering, I guess, no Cam Chancellor really had a huge effect. And the other debate now is, I think Todd Bowles was the defensive coordinator that left. Is he having an effect? And I guess we're going to find out this week because Cam Chancellor came back. And then as far as winning, it's the Jets at 2-0. There's no way anyone saw this coming. I mean, even Jets fans are going, what the hell's happening? Are we dreaming? Is this real?
Yeah. Yes.
So
your dream, everyone else's nightmare.
That's so true. And so it's going to be interesting kind of see how that shakes out. I'm pretty sure Seattle will right the ship. Whether or not they'll be the Super Bowl contender we all thought they were, well, that remains to be seen. But I don't think the Jets are going to be. It'll be interesting. The AFC, I think, is too competitive that they might have a chance, but they're going to have to win a lot, and it's going to be interesting when they start to play the better teams.
Yeah, I agree with you there about the Seahawks. I watched both those games, and the Seahawks just. I don't know if they were just kind of sleepwalking against St. Louis that first game. They went into overtime. But then again, I think I put it on the offense for Seattle. Seattle's offense has not really done much. They haven't gotten Jimmy Graham involved. I mean, he scored a touchdown first game, but they only targeted him once or twice against Green Bay. Marshawn Lynch really hasn't done much yet. Granted, it's only a couple of weeks, but not only I don't think it's more or less the defense missing Cam Chancellor, but I think they traded away their star center, Max Unger, to the Saints to get Jimmy Graham. And I think it's I don't know. I think it's more on the offensive side of the ball. And Russell Wilson has to start playing like a top 5 quarterback because he wants that money.
He
wants
got paid like one.
Yeah, he needs to start. Yeah, he needs to start playing big boy football if he wants to make that big boy money. But besides the Seahawks, to me, another big surprise has been The Colts and the Eagles, particularly the Eagles. The Eagles had every opportunity to beat the Falcons on Monday Night Football first week of the season. Couldn't do it. And then they blew it against the Cowboys. They just couldn't score. And it's just baffling. Chip Kelly gets rid of Deshaun Jackson. He gets rid of a couple of their really good offensive linemen. He gets rid of LaShawn McCoy. And he brings in all these other players, and it's just not the same looking offense. And it's everyone. If I was a Philly fan, I'd be calling for his head right now. If they go to 0-3, I don't know how they're going to be able to bounce back. They are very lucky, though, that the Cowboys lost Tony Romo, because now that division, I think, is really going to be up for grabs. But that and the Colts, I put some of it on the Colts. They have a really bad O-line. They have a depleted secondary, but they've also faced two of the best defenses, too, in the league, Jets and the Bills, and I think they'll get their first win against Tennessee. So,
biggest surprise for me is I have to say that the Seahawks. Like, I mean, you guys are in the Super Bowl. Like, what happened? And with that, I'm like, I definitely not expecting, like, 1-1 I would see, but 0-2, that's just craziness. I mean, like, you have such huge weapons. You just picked up Jimmy Graham. Like, how are you not scoring? Like, if there was something in the defense where like they're getting scored on and they can't catch up the points, like that would be one thing. But it's like, how are you not scoring with all these things? Like, that's just impossible. It doesn't make it. You do the math 100 times and it doesn't add up. Like that's what gets me. Like even if you had like gaping holes in your defense and they were just running through you all day, you should be able to put up 40 points with freaking Marshawn Lynch and then Jimmy Graham. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And Russell Wilson, the scrambling ass quarterback. You get like,
it
doesn't make any sense to me.
I think there's a lot more else going on too with Seattle. You got a lot of guys during the offseason, Cam Chancellor in particular, but they also have Michael Bennett, the D lineman, Bobby Wagner, the linebacker, all of them talking about getting paid. And, and even Bruce Irvin, their outside linebacker, is talking about he's not coming back next year. He wants to go to Atlanta, I think, because he's from Atlanta or some shit. But just all these, just a lot of drama, I think, going, behind the scenes with Seattle. So it'll be interesting to see if they bounce back. So.
Yeah, I definitely think this week will be very interesting to watch that and kind of just see what happens with Dallas because I agree with you, Mike, that I think that NFC East now is going to be wide open. Like, it's so funny because I'm close to the Washington D.C., so the Redskins area, and I'm like, all these fans here are just like dying because they're like, oh my God, if we can go 8-8, we could actually make the playoffs. But we don't know if we can go 8-8.
Yeah. Yeah, not with that quarterback situation.
No. I mean, I really think this is the Giants' year. Maybe we're going to watch the Giants go to the Super Bowl again. This is usually how they do it, right? It hasn't been a few years. They sucked really bad last year. They suddenly come out of nowhere, and everyone's like, why are they good? And then they win the Super Bowl.
I don't know how they're going to do it without JPP. I mean – the guy blew off his friggin' fingers, so I mean, I don't know if they're ever going to get that kind of pass rush back, but
that's very true.
Like that's not a debilitating injury for the position he's playing.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you're pushing. When you're a D lineman, you got to be like, you have to use your hands, your fingers.
You're like fingers a lot. Like,
well, when you're a defensive end, you got to have your hands out like this, but then you got to have your, you get them with your one hand to create separation with the lineman. And then you're reading where the running back goes.
Fingers did he blow off?
His like right index finger and his middle finger.
Oh yeah.
And
so he's got to go and he's got to like try and he's got like
this going on.
Yeah. So he's got to like try and wrap up the guy, with one arm most of the time.
Yeah.
So it's just
I don't know. I'd like to see this guy. I'd really like to see this guy bounce back with 3 fingers. That would just be really.
Oh yeah, it'd be great.
Really cool.
But the other thing that Mike didn't mention is he also broke his thumb in multiple places. That's their biggest concern when they checked him out. So his thumb isn't 100% functional either. And a lot of the guys on ESPN that used to play football, linemen specifically, they basically said the challenge is going to be, how do you, like what Mike was saying, how do you move people? And they're like, I've never. He's like, we've done it with like a middle finger or an index finger taped up. But if your thumb is not 100%, you have almost no chance to get any. You're basically a nub. That's really what you are.
Yeah, you're like I can't even make the hand gesture.
Yeah, really.
Like a gang symbol or something. But yeah, it's crazy. So that the East is going to be wide open. What's kind of also surprising to me has been all the injuries. I mean, you got Romo goes down, Kotler goes down, Breeze is down.
Quarterbacks dropping like flies.
They are dropping like flies, man. Des Bryant out for basically the year, if you want to say. It's crazy, and I'm gonna go on a limb here. I'm gonna say Cam Chancellor will probably get hurt. I mean, I hope he doesn't get hurt because I got Seahawks defense and DraftKings this week. But I mean, he's held out, missed all of training camp, and Des Bryant missed all of training camp. Like all these guys that hold out, they don't practice, they end up getting hurt. It's just the nature of the beast. But I mean, you look at Drew Brees, hurt his shoulder. That was the shoulder he had surgery on when he was in San Diego. That's how he ended up with the Saints because San Diego thought he was done. So and he's 35, 36 years old. So you got to figure how long is he going to last. Romo, he's always been the walking wounded, but now he's got a broken collarbone, So I just, and then being a quarterback, turning your chest and all that stuff like that all the time, I don't see that. I don't know.
Well, I think they actually put Romo on the IR.
Yeah.
So he's done for the year. So which basically means that Dallas has to try and win with either Brandon Weeden, which everyone knows is a Browns reject, which is bad. And I think they just traded for Matt Castle.
Yeah, they got Matt Castle, yeah. So they're going to be a dumpster fire this year, I think.
Who was it? Kidna? Didn't he
John
win?
Kidna? Yeah, he used to play for him, yeah.
But
he's really old.
Won, didn't they win a Super Bowl with him?
No, Kidna never won a Super Bowl.
No, I thought there's a season where he played 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, Kidna's a good filler guy, but I mean he's really old.
They ended up winning, so he got a ring at Dallas. I'm sure he got a ring at Dallas.
He did not get a ring with Dallas.
No, because Dallas hasn't won a ring since the 90s.
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe someone else.
Yes, you're 100%.
Yeah, I'm 100% out of my mind. Yeah.
Unless
speaking of things I know, Batman.
Batman. Batman played for Seattle last week.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, that's too funny. Yeah, the games I'm looking forward to this weekend that I kind of want to see is the Philly against the Jets, because I think that's going to show us who Philly really is. And the other one is the one that'll be, I think, very entertaining, and it's Pittsburgh versus St. Louis.
Yeah, I totally agree. St. Louis has got a hell of a defense. They got a monster D-line, really good linebacking core. It'll be interesting to see, because the Steelers lost Pouncey for most of the year, their starting center. So it'll be interesting to see if Roethlisberger, Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown can keep that offensive machine moving. I really think this will be telling with the Eagles. I think if the Eagles will go to 0-3, Chip Kelly is going to be on the chopping block. He's going to be under a lot of pressure, and rightfully so. This guy he's very very pompous, very full of himself, thinks he's a genius, and so we'll see what happens. The Jets have a really good defense. It was crap last year, but now that they got Revis and Cromartie back, they're easily a top 5 defense now. So another game I'm looking forward to. Actually, I won't be watching. The only game I'll be watching tomorrow is the Browns-Raiders game because I am going. So It's gonna be sweet. But that'll be a dumpster fire, though. But another really good game I think is going to be Cincinnati-Baltimore, because Baltimore is 0-2.
Yep.
And I think
Cincinnati's 2-0. So
yeah, and I think Baltimore's due for a win. But if Baltimore goes to 0-3, it's going to be really tough for them to bounce back.
Oh. If they go 0-3 and Cincinnati's 3-0, they have no chance at that division unless Cincinnati just collapses, because Pittsburgh's probably going to win. Yeah.
And if Cleveland wins too, then that means, they'll be each 2-1 and 3-0, and then Baltimore's 0-3. So, and I was big on Baltimore this preseason. We were talking a while ago. I was picking Baltimore to either win the division or go to the wild card, and they just look like they look like crap. Besides Steve Smith, They really got nobody working for him on offense. Justin Forsett's been disappointing so far. They got this tight end Crockett Gilmore who's doing all right. He's a red zone threat, but that's about it. But they don't got anybody else, any playmakers for Flacco to get the football to. The defense does not look good at all. I mean, the Raiders put 33 on them, so that's saying something right there. Not to take anything away from Derek Carr and Amari Cooper and all those guys, but I mean, those guys are rookies and second-year guys, and Baltimore, they should know better. They should play better. So,
yeah, be interesting. So that's pretty much it. Is NFL? You want to move on to the next topic, or you got anything else?
I'm good on NFL. We can move on.
All right. So we can touch on the NBA, and funny enough, both topics actually surround the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah.
So Anthony Bennett was released from the Minnesota Timberwolves, or bought out. I'm not sure which. I think that's the equivalent, because I don't think they can release you in the NBA. I think they have to pay off your contract.
Exactly, yeah.
And he's expected to go to the Raptors. This has to, I mean, doesn't this put him in like the worst #1 draft pick ever? He's got to be up there.
Oh, he's in the conversation. I mean, when the Cavs drafted him, I mean, well, first of all, the draft that he was in, there really wasn't anybody really special. I mean, you had Nerlens Noel, but he's been hurt. Victor Oladipo, who's been good, but he hasn't been playing like a top 5 pick. But Anthony Bennett showed up to the Cavs, overweight, out of shape. This guy was supposed to be a LeBron light kind of guy. Well, not really a LeBron light. I'm trying to compare him to somebody.
I mean, you have the low-fat, low-carb LeBron.
What I mean, like light LeBron, I mean like he was supposed to be. We got him as a 3, and he was supposed to be, one of these guys that doesn't really handle the ball, but he cuts to the basket, and you get him in space, and he can jump. He's got the ups, and he can knock down threes, but he didn't do any of that shit when he was with Cleveland. Cleveland knew he sucked. They before, and they didn't play him a lot either his rookie year. They said he still needed to develop, aka he sucks. So, Cleveland was wise and kept him on the bench for most of the year, only let him play a little bit. And I think he got hurt a little bit too. He was banged up in practice, but so they used that and coupled it and then got rid of him for Kevin Love, which is a great move in my opinion. But yeah, he's definitely, he has to be up there, one of the worst draft picks of all time. I mean, when it comes to the NBA, I mean, there's so many bad draft picks. But #1 overall, I mean, Bennett's got to be up there. I mean, you could talk about like Greg Oden's a bust. Like, he wasn't really a bust. He got hurt. That's different from just being overweight and not good, like Anthony Bennett is. And
like Ryan Leaf, kind of that epic for me.
Yeah, but without like the pill problem. But
true.
But he we got the LSU game on back here in the background,
man.
And Fournette is just murdering people right now.
Just broke out like 40 yards on a run.
But yeah, I think it's fitting though that he went to Toronto because of he is Canadian. So.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Maybe he can resurrect his career in his home country.
Whatever. Take
Yeah,
your Canadian,
we'll see about
back, lazy, crappy Canadian ass back home.
That's right. That's right, buddy.
Nice. And then Tristan Thompson still hasn't been signed an offer. So that's going to be kind of interesting. Like, isn't that going to affect the Cavs if they don't have him?
Well, the thing that makes Tristan Thompson so special is that he does a lot of the grunt work. And when you talk about grunt work in basketball, he's getting offensive rebounds. Offensive rebounds, they're huge. They keep possessions going. It keeps the ball down in that your team's side of the court. He dives on the floor a lot for balls. He's a fighter. And it was, and he was invaluable when it came to the finals. He really kept us in some of those games because of offensive rebounds and defense. He plays really good defense. He's 6'9", but he plays like he's 6'11". He's really good as far as defensive goes and rebounding. But other than that, that's about it. He can make a basket like 5 feet away, but that's about it. He is terrible at free throws. He's about 50%. He can't make a jump shot. He can't really handle the ball either.
Like
so,
Shaq.
Shaq was better than him. But But he
late
wants
career
to.
Shaq.
Well, he's better than late career Shaq. Anyone's better than late career Shaq. But anyways, and I love Shaq. But anyways, he wanted to be a max player, and everybody knows he's not a max player. I mean, Cleveland's already got 3 max players, okay, and Tristan Thompson's not a max player. He wanted to get paid like one. He's got the same age as LeBron, and so they're thinking maybe, with the whole LeBron connection that they can make this work. And the Cavs, I'm really happy for the Cavs, and they didn't balk or anything like that. They didn't give in to Tristan Thompson, and he wanted all this money, and he's plainly not worth it. And you can get somebody that does that kind of work for much cheaper. Granted, they're few in the league that are willing to dive on the floor and get those rebounds like Tristan Thompson is, but you can find them, and you can trade off, paying them a lot of money to being like, hey, we'll pay you $2-3 million to come, do this grunt work for us, and you get to play with LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, and play for championships. Tristan Thompson, I think, is more about the money, and they're talking about maybe if he doesn't take this new offer, this 3-year deal. By the way, they offered him 5 years, $80 million. He turned that down because he wanted 5 years, $120 million. It's like, get the fuck out of here, man.
At that point in time, like you're already making $80 million a year. Like how much of the year do you work?
Yeah.
Like, and how much work are you doing?
Exactly.
Like,
He's a bench player too. He doesn't start.
Yeah.
So
break, man.
So you got to throw all this in, and it's like he's not worth it. He's a great player, but he's not worth that kind of money. So if he doesn't take this 3-year deal, they're saying he'll play out this last year, and they said he'll probably go to Toronto because he's also Canadian.
Everyone's going to be in Toronto.
Whatever, dude. They're afraid of Trump.
Yeah.
They're like, oh God, Trump's gonna be like president. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
Now maybe it's just because I'm like broke and talentless. Like $80 million seems like a lot of
For
money.
5 years.
Yeah, like come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It's ridiculous. So I think the agent bit off more he could chew.
Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of also wondering, is it just the agent, or is Tristan also being somewhat, not recognizing a good value when he hears it? But.
Well, I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's the agent pumping up Tristan Thompson's ego. I mean, Tristan Thompson's only 24, 25 years old, so he's still young.
Yeah, got a lot of time.
And so it's like, he had a really good playoff run because once Kevin Love got hurt, he was inserted into the starting lineup. So he did a lot, and he really helped us out. He really helped the Cavs out and helped them be as down as they were until they got to the finals. But even in the finals, victories and losses, Tristan Thompson played a huge role. But he was he's just – and I think the agent used all that momentum and try to get him some money. So I don't think it's going to work.
Yep. TBD, we'll see how this kind of turns out.
Find a new agent.
Yeah. Well, LeBron's agent
sign
too,
a reasonable deal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the other thought behind that. But anyways. We'll touch on Max's favorite subject here, Major League Baseball.
Yes.
We know we're going to get Max excited for this.
I've been chomping at the bit for some MLB.
But so the most recent news is the Cubs are officially in the playoffs, first time since 2008, which is actually pretty big news. I mean, I remember, I think, weren't they trying to like get rid of players at one point at the beginning of the year, and everyone's like, oh yeah, they're not trying it for the playoffs, and then they started winning, and then they're like, crap, we need to trade for some players so we can actually try to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So they actually achieved their goal, it seems. And as well, there's only 8 games remaining. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how it turns out, especially the AL wild card.
Yeah. You got the wild card race there in the American League, and the National League is basically kind of locked up. You got the Cubs and the Pirates, and but the AL, I mean, you're looking at the Angels, the Astros. My Indians are still trying to fight on there. The Twins. So they're all just a couple of games back and forth between each other, and they're all playing each other right now too, I believe. The Indians are playing, or no, I think the Indians are playing the Twins here coming up soon.
And the Astros are playing the Rangers.
Astros are playing. Yeah, so it's getting pretty heated there. But what I think is fascinating, though, with back to the National League is that you'll have 3 National League Central teams in the playoffs. You got the Cardinals that got the division wrapped up; they're automatically going to be in there, and then you got the Cubs and the Pirates will play that play-in game, and then the winner of that game will go on and have to play the Cardinals. So I think that's just ironic as hell, and I don't know if they'll try to make some kind of changes to that rule or whatever, how the seeding goes, but
well, they need to do something because the Pirates are 92 wins or 90 wins?
90
Yeah.
fucking 2 games.
162.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, we're not even at the end of
That's
it.
just regular season.
And they've already played. They won 92 games.
Yeah.
So how many games did they lose?
Probably like 60 or something.
Yeah.
60 or 70.
Poor Max. But yeah, it'll be
It's soul crushing amount of games. How can you sit through that much baseball? I mean, that's why baseball players get paid so much. Because otherwise they would all just kill themselves.
Well, yeah, but then if you have that many games, you can, even if you just say only half are at home, that's 81 home games.
Yeah.
I mean,
could you imagine being like a baseball writer, just going to all those games?
Yeah, that's
that sounds like my own personal hell. Like, all you're eating like stadium hot dogs and writing about baseball.
Like, you die and you come back as a sports writer.
Yeah, like you're all bad karma I saved up.
Oh, that's awesome.
That'd be great.
Jeez, I gotta listen to that stupid fucking organ music.
I love it. I love it, Max.
No.
But yep. So 8 games remaining. So unfortunately, Max will probably be touching on this next week or the week after because that should be, it should be next week, right? Should be the
next week. Yeah.
Because playoffs start the following week.
That's right, October.
Yeah, this is when it actually starts to get interesting. So.
Yeah, we'll make some hot dogs for you.
Yeah, super hot dogs.
I actually had hot dogs before you came over.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Cool.
Put some cheese, chopped red onion on them. They were great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, jalapeno in there?
No, I don't have any jalapeno. Put hot mustard on it, though.
Right.
There you go. Got a little spice.
Mustard. Like spicy mustard? Or
oh, yeah.
Like,
spicy brown.
Like you warmed the mustard?
No, like spicy brown. Why would I warm up mustard?
I don't know, man. I don't know how you eat hot dogs. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is a whole thing I'm unaware of over here. Could be like a German thing. I don't know.
It's not a German thing.
So, just saying.
All right, what else we got?
In Holland, they dip their fries in freaking mayonnaise, man. That stuff's gross, but they do that over there. That's how they roll.
Yeah. Canada, they got poutine.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like fries with gravy.
Oh, see, there you
go.
And then next is the NCAA.
College football. We got some on in the background right here.
Wow.
LSU's beating Syracuse right now.
Yeah, they had a pretty good series there just now. Broke out on a couple of nice runs.
Yeah.
What's that?
Fournette.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Fournette's killing it right now. But yeah, so college football. So big surprises for everybody as far as your impressions of the season so far, Philip.
So probably the biggest surprise, honestly, was Bama losing to Ole Miss. So either I misunderstood how good Ole Miss was going to be, or I overestimated Alabama, which I'm going to go with probably was a little bit of both, but that still was surprising. The fact of how high scoring it was. If it were a lower scoring game, I probably would have understood, but I guess the defections, well, not really defections, the loss to the NFL, I guess, really finally caught up with Alabama. I mean, many years it hasn't, so this is the first year. That's probably my biggest one.
Yeah. Alabama losing, I think for me has been couple of things. First off, my pick to win the SEC, Auburn. They are a dumpster fire right now, man. Their quarterback is crap. Their defense is crap. They almost lost to Jacksonville State.
Sorry. Big D play there. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, it was big. But yeah, I think Auburn right now has been a huge disappointment. Texas, especially them getting curb stomped by Notre Dame the way they did. I thought they'd give Notre Dame a better game than that. I think those are big. Those are some big surprises for me. Arizona State was supposed to be good. They're looking like shit. How about Michigan State being number 2 in the country?
Yeah,
That's pretty nice. But
Big Ten.
yeah,
Or
but
Big 2.
that's right. And speaking of the Big Ten, my final surprise has been Ohio State's offense.
Poopy.
It has been really
Inconsistent.
bad. I went to that game last week against Northern Illinois. Their offense looks like crap. I think they're just – I mean, when they went in against Virginia Tech, they knew what they wanted to do, and they went out there and they did it. They didn't mess around. They just went out there and they ran the football. Well, they didn't really run the football too much, but, I mean, like, they went in there with a solid game plan and executed. With Hawaii and Northern Illinois, they've just been experimenting with stuff. And I think they're trying to do too much, trying to get Braxton Miller the ball, Michael Thomas the ball, Curtis Samuel the ball, Ezekiel Elliott. They just need to run the ball. They need to concentrate on running the football, and that'll open up everything else. But right now they're just getting too cute, and then Cardale can't compete, and then they shit the bed, and so they immediately put in J.T. Barrett, and J.T. Barrett's been out, and he's cold. So that's been my big surprises. I mean, I knew there was going to be some hiccups, but I didn't think it was going to be this much inconsistency.
Interesting. So do you think it's a quarterback issue or do you think it's a play calling issue?
I think it's a play calling issue.
Yes.
I think it's all about the coaching. Tom Herman, who is now the head coach at Houston, was the offense coordinator last year, and he is now gone. And now the new offensive coordinator is the offensive line coach. And no offense to the offensive line coach, but when you're an offensive line coach and you're starting to call plays, your mind's kind of more narrow. You're more thinking about the offensive line blocking schemes as opposed to, the matchups, with your specialty players, your tight ends, your running backs, your receivers, your H-back. I think they're just trying to do too much. They're trying to be too cute. They keep running all these. They don't run like trick plays, but it's just these sweeps and these like reverses, and I don't see it. I just think they need to run. They need to give Ezekiel Elliott the ball 20, 25 times a game, and then that'll open up everything else for them. So it's they just got to get back to basics. And the quarterback situation is, they present different problems for different teams. So like Cardale Jones was perfect for going up against Virginia Tech because we wanted to throw, we wanted to air it out, but a team, that you just want to if you want to air the ball out, you go with Cardale. If you want to just, throw 5-7 yard passes all up and down the field, you go with JT Barrett. So.
Interesting. Yeah, it'll be kind of interesting to see how that goes. I don't think, well, we'll have to see. I don't think they're going to let themselves lose, but who knows?
Yeah, they should have it fixed by now. So.
But, that's about it. Do you have anything, Max?
No, I'm just going to say Michigan State being number 2 is crazy. 2 teams in the Big Ten sitting on the top of the ranks. That's absolutely absurd.
Well, they beat Oregon, and that was a huge game.
Yeah, looking good. I'm just happy that at least we got some bright, shining stars in the Big Ten, and we can have a little pride in our conference.
Michigan's looking all right. I mean, they played a tough game against Utah. Utah's a good team.
They lost to Utah.
Yeah, they're ranked. Utah's ranked.
I don't care. They still lost.
Well, they got a new coach, new quarterback. Talk about Michigan. So, but Michigan's looked pretty solid the last couple of games.
That would have been a great opportunity to come out with your new coach and your new quarterback and make a statement.
Anyway.
But they decided not to do that and decided to look like a bunch of bums.
It looks like a bunch of bums right now is Penn State. They look like crap.
Yeah.
Maryland looks like crap too. They got beat by Bowling Green. How about Arkansas getting beat by Toledo? Brett Bielema has been talking a lot of shit. Well, he's always talked shit about Ohio State, even when he was with Wisconsin. But now it's finally catching up to him. He's talking about how Ohio State plays a soft schedule. Toledo goes out, beats their ass.
Yeah, well.
And then he's talking shit about Texas Tech. Texas Tech comes out there, beats their ass.
I feel like everyone, every now and again you have this shouldn't have been talking shit moment in your life where it's just
put your foot in your mouth.
You're like, wow. I'm sorry. But they never apologize. Like, because when I say something stupid and somebody calls me, I'm like, yeah, okay, that was stupid. I apologize. But these guys never do that. They're just like, blah, 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 and then like they're causing a lot more damage than they're not helping at all.
Yeah.
And they're just putting chips on these other dudes' shoulders to come out and get at you.
Yeah.
And
it's extra motivation.
Yeah, and so why even do that? Why not just keep your mouth shut until you win the game? Then you can talk mad shit like that time where I beat Mike in fantasy football. But other than that, no, I just think last week was a crazy week as far as like the ranked teams. Like there's just a bunch of huge losses.
USC lost.
Yeah, and freaking
Bama lost.
Bama lost. Auburn
didn't. Oh yeah, Auburn got their asses kicked by LSU. Yeah.
USC. Then oh god, I keep on. There's always one I'm forgetting.
Bama.
I said Bama.
You said Bama.
Bama. USC. Somebody else. Anyway.
BYU?
You said BYU?
Yeah.
No, BYU hasn't lost. They're undefeated.
Yeah, they're playing Michigan. They're losing to Michigan right now.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, there you go. That should make you feel better about the Big Ten.
Hopefully. I mean, if Michigan can get their shit together, I mean, we all know they're a bunch of fuckheads, so.
You still want them to be good, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they fucking pull their stupid fucking heads out of their asses, then maybe, anyway. We're not going to talk about how shitty Michigan is, because everyone knows how shitty Michigan is.
Well, going back to shit talking, though, I thought it was pretty funny that a player for Alabama after the Ole Miss loss said, we may have lost to Ole Miss, but we're going to be in the college football playoff, and you're not. And I just don't see, after that loss at Alabama, I think Alabama showed that they do not have a quarterback right now. And I think that was one of their biggest falls. I mean, they did lose a lot of talent to the NFL. I think between that and then not having a decent quarterback is what's going to kill Alabama this year.
And I mean, I don't know. I think they are a little bit. I think people are still holding on to the idea of Alabama versus the reality of where they're at. Like, it's it's a little more. It's a little more dire than people want to say.
Not only that, Max, but the SEC is changing, and that's the other thing that the people from Alabama are recognizing. The SEC is getting a lot more offensive-minded with decent defenses, but it's definitely happening because if you look at Georgia, Ole Miss, the teams that are actually starting to do well in that conference, Texas A&M, they have great or decent offenses. They're not just very mediocre like Alabama used to be and say, all right, we're gonna run the ball at you 50 times in the game and we're gonna win.
Yeah. I totally agree. And I think the power is really moving to the West Coast right now. I think the Pac-12 is by the end of this year, I think Pac-12 will probably be the best conference this year. I mean, USC, even though they lost to Stanford, those are both pretty damn good teams. And then on top of that, you got UCLA, which I think is going to win the Pac-12. Still got Oregon. They'll probably lose 2 games this year, but a 10-2 record's not bad. So you got some really good teams there. So Utah's ranked. So
yeah, you got to throw that back at you, Max.
So they're deep. They're a deep league. Big Ten's top heavy. I think SEC's top heavy. ACC is non-existent really. I mean, you got Florida State. You got Florida State. Florida State and Clemson, but I don't know. I really don't see it with either of those teams.
The Big 12's in the same scenario, really.
Exactly, yeah. I think it's only a matter of time before Baylor and TCU lose. Texas obviously has been a huge disappointment. Yeah. Crap.
Exactly. So it'll definitely be an interesting college football playoff to kind of see what happens as we get down to the end, because we're pretty sure the winner of both of those, the Big Ten and the Pac-12, will definitely be in. It'll be interesting to see the other 2 teams.
Yeah, agreed.
But that's it as far as I've got for topics. Anything, Mike or Max?
Trying to think.
Did I mention that I beat Mike week 1 of fantasy football week? Did I say that yet?
Yeah, you mentioned it.
That was the news.
You
Okay,
mentioned
yeah,
it.
that's all the news I got.
It's because Eli Manning shit the bed, man, and Le'Veon Bell hasn't started yet for me.
Hey,
So
man,
don't give me any. Don't give me any of this. Don't give me any
all
of
I
this.
know is we played and I won. That's
what? It's the first game. I lost all my fantasy games week 1.
Okay.
Actually, I won. I did win DraftKings. So I started DraftKings this year, and it's pretty addicting. So it's the one where you like gamble.
Yeah, but I'm not going down that rabbit hole.
I can't blame you, Max. Can't blame you.
But yeah, that's it for me. Go Browns.
Yeah, go Bucks. We're actually 1-1. I expected that after the demolition that Marcus Mariota gave my Buccaneers of 42-14, I believe was the score. I figured we were going to be lucky if we could win 1. After the last game, we actually look like we might be able to win like 5. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
All right. 5 games in a 16-game season. That's not.
And your Broncos.
And we're doing it.
Your Broncos defense looks amazing. Right?
Yeah.
Problem is Peyton looks ancient.
Oh, he is though. That's the it's not that he looks ancient. It's that he actually is ancient.
So
He's a relic.
No, I mean like he's out there doing his best. You know what I'm saying? Like he's still at a high. You know, like I don't know. He's still good, but he's definitely not.
Here's the problem, Max. He can't look ancient in September because if he looks ancient in September,
oh God,
what's that mean? He's gonna look like in December, like non-existent.
Someone's gonna hit him, and it's gonna be in December or something. He's just gonna shatter.
It'll be like the T1000 in Terminator 2. It just shatters.
Oh my goodness! All over. It's gonna be terrible.
Yeah.
I like. You know, I'm just praying he stays healthy. You know, I'm praying he keeps his feet under him, and we'll just take it as we get it. You know, like that's. I said it at the beginning of the season. I don't know how much he's got left in the tank. I don't know. You know, like how much he can do. I don't think we're gonna win the Super Bowl this year. I hope against hope, but yeah, you know, he's just old. He's like almost 40, right? He's like 39.
Yeah,
that's really old. I mean, he's been playing football for a long time. Like, you know, he's been getting smacked with these 400-pound dudes for like 18 years.
You gotta hand it to him though. I mean, they played They played Kansas City last week. Kansas City, I mean, sacked his ass like 5-6 times, and he still came back through. You know, he was still throwing some darts. And
So, I mean,
granted, the defense scored the winning touchdown, but I mean, Peyton Manning kept him in that game. They couldn't run the ball, but yeah, despite getting his ass kicked, he hung in there.
And he's not out, but I mean, he's close.
He's got 1 foot out the door.
You know, I mean, like that's just time. You know, it's not anything against. You know, he's still playing very smart football. You know, it's just time. That's no man can beat it. So like that's just where we're at. Except you know, John Elway won 2 rings and dipped out. Like I'm old. You know. And so like, that's just how it's got to be. But you know, we'll take it as you know, whatever he's got left to give, we'll definitely take it. I'm 100% behind Peyton Manning.
Nice. I think Peyton will appreciate the support, Max. But yeah, so I think that's it. That wraps up Sports Nerds number 21. Hopefully, we'll be able to find our schedules and we'll see when 22 happens. Oh, there you go.
We're of legal age.
We are legal age now. We can drink.
There we go.
God.
We will now become the Drunken Sports Nerds podcast. Since that's what happens when you turn 21, up until about episode 30, and then we're going to start to sober up.
Yeah. We'll clean himself up.
Clean up our act. Yeah.
Get a real job.
So thank you all for joining us. This is Phil, Mike, and Max saying good night or goodbye.
Good luck.
Peace.